This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
So today I'm going to be playing Naya Birthing Pod with the Kiki-Jiki Restoration Angel combo in it versus Reid Duke playing Rug Delver. This is in preparation for the Modern Grand Prix in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm going to look at the deck for a bit. It's pretty obvious what the game plan is, which is to assemble this card plus this card, or this card plus this card, or this card plus this card. Essentially just making a large number of attacking creatures on a given turn. However, it's very possible to win the game with this deck without having to make a large number of guys, due to the fact that you have a lot of 3-power guys, and a large number of them have evasion of sorts. Linvala has evasion, Angel has evasion, and Kitchen Finks is just a 3-power guy that comes back. So we start out with 6 mana guys, 6 2-drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 3-drops, 5 4-drops in the main, and 5 5-drops, as well as 8 tutors essentially to churn through our deck and go up the creature chain with Birthing Pod or find the missing card that we need. So that's a pretty simplistic rundown of the deck, but there's not that much to it in the main deck. Now, sideboarded, at the Grand Prix in Yokohama, they had Forked Bolt instead of Gutshot, but I honestly believe Gutshot is much better because it costs no mana and lines up very well on turn 1 versus their stuff. There's also a Combust for opposing Exarchs or Pestermites from Splinter Twin, or in the mirror match you also want this card, as well as Gutshot. Canist is a Hate Bear essentially for Storm, same for Thalia. Pridemage covers Torpor Orb, and a bunch of other random shit like Spellskite, Inkmoth Nexus, Arcbound Ravager, and so forth. Fulminator Mage and Avalanche Riders both come in versus Tron, as well as potentially Jund. Stonecloaker, I think there might be an Unburial Rites deck. If there is, you want it, such as Blue-White Tron, but there might be another gifts orient, 3 or 4 color gifts oriented Unburial Rites deck. Linvala solidifies matchup in Mirror because turning off all of the mana guys is huge. Sigarda is for Jund mostly. And that's essentially the deck. Yes, I would like to play first. This hand's pretty bad. You're generally looking for a 1 mana guy. I'm gonna mulligan. It's not much better, but gonna fetch Temple Garden on turn 1. Actually, Stomping Ground's better, because we have triple red spells in our deck. Yeah, Stomping Ground, then play Thicket. Cataxian Probe. Probe leads me to believe he's Storm. There's not many decks that have turn 1 Cataxian Probe. No, he's just Delver. It's interesting. Well, I don't know. I guess he probably probed into Delver. Deprive. Hmm. Deprive in hand. Yeah, he has Tarn. So it's Tarmogoyf? Yep. That's a good draw. Okay, so he's gonna leave up Deprive, ship the turn. I think I will leave up mana and Chord for 2 at his end step. That is awkward. Well, I'm just gonna let it go. Like, I would actually prefer for him to take the Chord. But if he's smart, he'll probably take Pod because it's pretty much the only avenue I have for this game. I'm gonna Chord for 2. Get Mana Guy or Pridemage probably. Their deck usually has Vidalcan Shackles, so I'd like to hedge versus it. Let's see what he does though. Yeah, he takes nothing. He was either going to take Pod or do nothing. Take 6, go to 9. Don't really have a choice. So he's committed to just letting this go. I have to get Spellskite here. So that doesn't really do anything. Hierarch birds. I guess I can get Hierarch and Exarch him next turn. Actually seems fine. So land, ship the turn, Exarch him, upkeep. And hope he doesn't have burn spell, I guess? I guess I'm just dead to burn spell regardless. Gonna tap his breeding pool. Like, if he has lightning bolt, I'm just dead anyways, so I'm gonna pretend he doesn't have it and try to go off next turn. Or you could just counter my thing, I guess. So I have to block Charm of Life. I will. Still did a Lightning Bolt, which he clearly doesn't have. Alright, let's see what I can do here. I think the answer is unfortunately not much. So I can pod into a 4 and still die? Well, yeah, still die. And that was kind of anticlimactic. Really, your hands are so much worse when you don't have a turn 1 mana guy. Probably... So the other issue is you can't really overboard with this deck because, like, you take up so many slots with your combo. And the Bell Ringer can probably go. It's mostly worse than Exarch because Exarch lets you go from 2 to 4. I'm not a huge Linvala fan versus him. I guess I'll bring Harmonic Sliver in case if he has Orb or Shackles again. But really, you can't go crazy and overboard versus Combust is a consideration, but like he's rug colored, so there's like a small chance that Combust is just dead unless if he has a Delver. I don't really want to be combusting Snapcaster Mages, so... He's contemplating his sideboard options. Yeah, I really need a mana creature. Yeah, that'll do. Play Thicket on turn 1. I wonder if he's going to probe again before playing anything. Even something as simple as playing a land, which a lot of people take for granted, can have huge implications. Especially lands like fetch lands or scars lands, because the turn on which you play them makes a huge difference. Yeah, he was just thinking about probing before playing land to get more information. I also remember other really good players talking about abusing the fact that people shortcut with their land so often. For example, if you play a Caves of Kolos on turn 1 and tap it for Savannah Lines, there's basically no possible way that you have a Plains or more likely than not any other lands in your hand to play Savannah Lines. Now that's good because you can sort of abuse that and make your opponent think that you have no lands in hand, which could come up, say, if they get greedy with Wrath of God or whatever. Alright, Serum Visions. I'm going to play Wall Roots on my turn. Serum Visions is not a great card, but I think it's a necessary evil. We left both on top. Wall Roots, his move. Huh. Snapcaster Mage, probably. Nope. It's kind of weird he would Oh no. I guess that makes more sense. Alright, so the nice thing about Walvards is you can tap it to convoke and remove a counter for mana for Chord of Calling. So essentially I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I could chord for 3. A Spell Pierce in his hand. Try not to run into a Pierce. Huh. This is kind of an awkward card. Especially since Harmonics... Well, I can chord for 2 now. I'm gonna chord for 2 now. Alright. Yeah. Chord for 2 now. There's no reason to blow it up now. I'm gonna blow it up at his end step. Ironically, if I didn't have that Walvards in play, I couldn't even really cast Chord, because it provided both of the green, 2 of the 3 green, and tapping the Kitchen Finks provided a 3rd green. I wonder how many Blood Moons he's playing. Offhand, I would say 2 or 3. Because it has diminishing returns. On the flip side, no problem casting Kiki-Jiki with a Blood Moon out, really. The poor man's preordained. It's surprising how good, like, preordain is, just by switching the order of these 2 lines of text. Makes a huge difference. Bottom, top. Second Delver. Yeah, I'd cack it. So the plan is Finks and Spellskite this turn, I think. Yeah. Whoops. Green, green 1. Let's see, what did he leave on top? Lightning Bolt. I guess it's a good thing I cast Spellskite this turn. He might just crack fetch upkeep to not draw it. Yeah, he's really thinking about this fetch. Yep. Island. Some cryptic command, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely a cryptic. Oh. Well, that's kind of bad for him, actually. Oh no, it's not. He probably takes Sigarda here. This is a tough decision for him. I think he probably has to take Sigarda though. What? He took Kiki and I drew another Kiki? Huh. Well, hold on. Go to 3 on his attack. If I play Kiki and make a guy. And he can't bolt me to death. Wait, yeah, he can. If I play Sigarda, he gives him Phantasmal Image and other thing, isn't it? He would need Image Bolt to beat me. I don't think he really has that in hand, so I'm just gonna bash him and play the Sigarda. Snapcaster on Serum Visions. It's not quite Snapcaster on Ponder. Bottom, top. So... One, two. I could just play Kiki and ruin him, I think. Yeah. He has to block Sigarda, so he'll probably double up on it. And then he has to block 2 more guys. He takes 3 from the Finks that can't persist. I mean, yeah. So he takes 3, goes to 2. And then I have Spellskite, yeah. He can't really win from there. Alright, so... gut shot him, I think. Can't really cut Chord. I'll cut Witness. Maybe I can shave 1 chord. Yeah, I'll shave 2 chords actually, and see how this configuration works. Well, I'll leave in the 3rd chord. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. It's a little bit risky, but I think it's an acceptable risk. That actually makes me feel better about it, because he would have led on a red land if he had one plus a bolt. Okay, stomping down, play birds. Now if he has a bolt, he'll definitely just bolt my birds. Or he might play Blood Moon again. For what it's worth, I don't think Blood Moon is that good versus me. But could be wrong. Just gonna leave up counter, I think. Yeah. Guess he's just gonna leave up counter magic. What do I care least about getting countered here? I'm just gonna chord for 1 or 2 again at his end step. I think just 1 is correct. I just want mana, actually. Yep. That was pretty likely based on him not actually playing anything. Next time... It's so weird that he... I guess he has red lands in hand? Yeah. I can just afford to pay 2 life. If he counters it, it's no big deal. That's slightly annoying. He should really just buff the attack anyways, even though I'm relatively sure he doesn't have the bolt. Yep, and that was pretty likely to happen at some point. I'm gonna gut shot him because I think it's just way too dangerous for him to have a 3-1 flyer by this point. All I need is time to draw lands, and I think my superior late game will take over. I wonder if he boarded in Blood Moon this time. Based on the way he's fetching lands, the answer is probably. I'm just gonna chord for 1 now. Oh. Yeah. Don't really want him to cryptic it. Oops. 1. And I don't think it's too likely he has another Spell Pierce. That's not good for me. It's not the worst, actually. I'm not gonna attack because I want my Finks to be alive for Kiki. And he's not really doing very much, so I have time. Draws a Cryptic here. It's not like I can really play around it. I can actually just chord for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chord for 4. Flicker my Finks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could chord for 8, or chord for 5. Alternative plays, chord for 1. 1, 2. I'm gonna just chord for 4. And also, yeah, he was targeting himself, but I wanted to do it when he couldn't Cryptic my chord. His hand might just be a bunch of redundant Blood Moons. I don't see a real reason to just ram Kiki into his thing, so I'm just gonna go on the beatdown plan. I'm fine if he wants to trade quick here. Also, since the late game favors me, there's no real reason to attack with Restoration Angel, because it blocks all of his stuff. He almost certainly has another Cryptic in hand by this point. Rawr. guess he has Deprive in hand? Mana leak. So I'm gonna Angel during his upkeep. There's the Deprive. Man, that's a lot of counters. Yep. Kind of wish I had a Throne in my deck by this point. I'd beaten him down pretty easily by now. Jeez. Did he board out his shackles? No reason to play this land. Nope, there's the shackles. This game's gonna be very difficult now. That's cute. Great. Yeah, I left it in. Left it Kill his shackles. Kitchen Finks can... no. Actually, it's bad to trade guys off when I have Pod and play. Oh. I guess that makes sense. I'm playing to my out of drawing another pod or a chord. That does not really help. So, I think I have to block one of his guys now. Yeah. Ugh. Or I could just be dead. That was kind of disheartening. The game dragged on very long. He walked out my mana. Then it eventually drew one of his shackles. Ugh. I think I could have been more aggressive that game. It's kind of hard to remember. Also, I think I wanted the second Pridemage versus him too. Trying to figure out what to cut is sort of annoying. Maybe I don't even want Gutshot versus him. I think we could rebuild the mana in such a way that's not so vulnerable, but don't really have time for that right now. Alright, I won the die roll again. Let's see. Guess I keep this in. It's a little bit awkward. If I can play 2 birds on turn 2. So yeah, mountain, then turn 2 thicket, float 2 green, play 2 birds. Always with the Serum Visions. Top. depending on what he does, I might just main phase Angel. Nope, no main phase Angel here. I will definitely upkeep Angel though. I can afford to just get planes here. Also, casting upkeep is basically better than EOT because he might play a second blue. And he has less information about what card he draws for this turn. Yep, it resolves predictably. And also now he has to be afraid of Kiki-Jiki coming down at any point, so it makes the game a bit harder to play for him. Whoa! That was unexpected. Actually, kind of bad for me. I can chord for one here. Get an extra point. That was a very good electrolyze for him. Two, three, four. Play around Spell Pierce. Oh, I can get him for 4 first. I think I'm gonna pod Hierarch into Spellskite actually. Okay, I guess that's fine. If he has Shackles next turn, things could get really gross. Alright. Take 4. Just a dollar. I mean, just 2, 3. I'm gonna ship the turn, actually. I don't think attacking actually gains us a lot. Alright, well... Okay. Let's see what he does here. I'm gonna chord for 3, 2, yeah, 3. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I have to pod into Reveillark. Yes. Which helps him, opens me up to all sorts of nasty things, but there's really not much I can do about it by this point. Nope, or I could be dead. I actually think I want Thalia versus him. We'll try a different configuration now. If he's boarding in all of his grudges, I can just blank his grudges by boarding out pods. By the same token, I don't want Spellskite in my deck then. Yeah, we'll try that. Oh, shoot. I just misread my hand. Ugh. I thought that was a mountain or a forest. This is a very awkward game now. No, doesn't get any better because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot who's saved by sacking. It's gonna leak me? Guess so. Blood Moon. Yup. Does not seem ideal for me. Well, I think I'm going to have to reconfigure the mana base after these matches to deal with the Blood Moon. It's pretty good versus me, it turns out. He's probably trying to figure out if he can play around Restoration Angel. And I guess he just wants to click me first. Realize my hand is terrible. Then just attack for 6 and I'm probably dead. Oh. Yeah, so in those games, well, in Game 2 we discovered that it's very hard to beat a Blood Moon with this deck. It turns out. Alright, on to match 3, which I believe will be our last one for this night. Won both die rolls, easily lost both matches. Funny how these things work. Oh, and now he's got a die roll and I have an unplayable hand. Alright. This hand's actually fine on the draw, I think. There's a green and 2/1 drop mana guys. I guess I should technically lead with Hierarch. He's going to 5. I think Reid and I are in similar camps about mulliganing. We like to keep some hands that other people don't like to keep. We like to gamble, maybe? Oh. Jeez. You go down to 3 searching for a land, I guess? Well, he found it, I guess. Get in for 1. It's going to be pretty hard for him to beat this pot, I think, if not impossible. So what do I pot into? I can just get a Pridemage here. Yeah, things are not going to get better for him from there. That didn't really count as a real game. Yeah, I like this configuration. This hand has a turn 3 Sigarda, assuming I don't get Blood Mooned, and also assuming my things don't get countered. We'll see what happens, I guess. Thinking about whether I should save 2 damage and give him a life. I think that's actually probably fine. Why do you do this to me, Reid? How are we friends? No spell snare, huh? So here I kind of do hope he just taps out for Blood Moon so I can play Angel. Yeah, that's going to be kind of awkward. And I can just buff Angel Kiki. Reid knows the only reason for me to use Wall there is so I can have 4 mana on his turn as well. I'm gonna float a green. I guess I should have just flickered that guy. It was a misplay to let it resolve. I hope he doesn't have a third island. I don't think he does. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have let him take my guy in response. Take my guy. That was a little bit gross. He's trying to suicide it so he can play another one, I guess. I can just chord for 2. He's gonna activate it EOT, I guess. Yep. Yep, that's bad for me. I guess I slam Sigarda and hope it's good enough. It's gonna be pretty annoying to beat that Jackals, though. I need to draw one of my 3 ways to kill it. Or a chord, I guess. And I can't really attack into that Restoration Angel, because he just blocks and then steals my other angel. Oh. That's bad. I actually should just attack. Just let him kill all my angels. Because the Sigarda will eventually kill him. Yeah, it's possibly not too late for that line of play. So, yeah. So, like, if I had done that a turn earlier... Oh, shit. Yeah, if I'd done that a turn earlier, he might not have that click. So things might be slightly different. But now it's gonna be, like, very, very, very hard to win. He forgot to untap his shackles, but I don't think it actually matters here. If that's a blood moon, it actually matters a lot. Yep. I like a very short span. Alright, this game is virtually impossible now. What can I draw to get out of this? Alright, I'm basically dead now. Just waiting for him to draw a real threat. I will keep this hand on the play. I would probably just keep it in general. That's unfortunate. Apparently not too unfortunate. I think this is the first time I casted versus him in this match, so let's see if it does good work. Click. Oh. I guess he's not blood mooning anytime soon. There's the shackles, and I luckily have Harmonic Sliver in hand. This game's virtually a rout, I think, by this point. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. It's a chord for 3 AOT. So I guess I'll just... I could just attack with all. Let's see what he does. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4. And only chords for 0 under my Thalia. Guess he has a bolt for... One, 2... Oh, he can't even cast Bolt. No, I boarded out Eternal Witness. Oh, I think it'll be pretty hard for him to beat another Kitchen Finks from here. Well, some unfortunate mulligans let me take one of the 3 matches. So, how do I feel about the matchup? Playing it 3 times, it doesn't feel good, but it certainly seems winnable. Blood Moon is a huge problem, because if you look at this mana base, there's only 2 basic lands, and one of them is a mountain, which doesn't really help the problem. And I also think, from playing this deck a bunch, I want to add the 2 more mana guys, the last 2 Noble Hierarchs. Probably just cut some of the cuter cards, like Bellringer. I don't think it's particularly necessary. And possibly the main deck Linvala. Besides that, my record with this deck has been relatively good in random 2-mans. But yeah. So I really like the matchup of this deck versus almost anything right now. Red-Green Tron feels a little bit soft, but not unsolvable. I'm going to experiment with having more Fulminator Mages instead of Avalanche Riders. And probably cut this stupid Stonecloaker, it doesn't seem like it actually does anything. Thalia seems reasonably good. I'm not going to cut it yet. Sigarda carried her weight. But yeah, I think the deck is pretty strong. Obviously it did really well at that Grand Prix. And I think there's a lot of ways to build it, and there's a lot of options to explore. I look forward to doing that more in depth over the next few weeks in preparation for the GP. If you guys want to see me play any particular deck or any particular matchup versus Reid, we can try to make it happen. Just let me know. But that's about it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I learned a little bit, and that's about it. Take care.